This video is for adjusting the pod mod on the 07 and early 08 Grizzly 700s. And this motor's been modified, so I do have the power commander here. I really don't work with the pod mod because I adjust all the fuel settings in the power commander. But for demonstration purposes, I'll show you guys. So initially, we hold down select and reset, and we turn on the main key. And we're still holding, so after about 5 to 10 seconds, diagnostic shows up. We're going to press select, which will change it to CO, and we're going to hold with select and reset again for 5 seconds. Now at this point we're looking at RPM, so the 0 up top represents RPM. So looking at the RPM here, I've got temperature and air fuel ratio, and starting it up. With it about warmed up right now, you can see we're around 13.1, 13.3 at 1500 RPM roughly. I'm going to adjust the screw. This is my idle screw, and you can see this doesn't update as quick. But this is my idle, 1,490. Going back over here, the power commander updates quicker than that display. So temperature is going to be 207 in a second. That hits 207, the fan kicks on. But as I adjust the idle, watch the air fuel ratio. Was adjust the idle down. Now that's too low. We do want the 1500 where I started, but you can see the air fuel ratio is way too much fuel now. It's about to die out. That's not due to RPM so much, it's due to the air fuel ratio. So I'm going to bring it back up to the 1500 and then show you how you get to the computer for adjusting the pod mod. At the 1200 here, you can see we're also at 1200 in our display. It's about to die out now. It really doesn't like that. So all I'm doing is adjusting the idle screw. Back up to 1500. I'm going to flip the throttle. Close to 1500 now. You can see our air fuel's going back to about 13.7, 13.8. This is where it likes to run. So with it up to temperature at 207, we were seeing 13.3 to 13.8, which is where I want it to run at 1500 RPM idle. I shut off the master key, and we're going to go in and do the pod mod now for getting to the fuel setting. So the fan may kick on, so I'll speak up a little bit. Holding in both buttons, turning on the main key. Press one button, press two buttons. Now this is where we were looking at the RPM. We're going to press two buttons again. Now the small zero is our pod mod fuel adjustment. So I'm going to take this up to about 60. Now I'm just shutting off the master key. And we were seeing 13.4, 13.6. So with that set at 60, I'm going to turn on the master key now and start it back up. So the pod's set at 60 now. And you can see where our idle is. We're at 207. The fan's going to kick on here in a second. We were at 13.3 to 13.6. Now we're at 12.1, 12.2. It's a little too rich. So about every 60 will change you 1 point on the air-fuel ratio. For this motor being modified and having the power commander, I do all of the adjustments through it. I really don't play with the pod mod on this because I have total control through the power commander system. It also has startup fuel, so I did want to make sure it was up to temperature, so the startup fuel in the power commander did not affect our results. Holding both buttons, turning the main key on. One, hold again, hold again, and master key off. I did want to show one more setting on this. Holding both of these, going into diagnostics. Turning the master key on. Diagnostics. D01 is your throttle positioning sensor. You want that around 16 or 17 at 0. Now this is an adjustment that's underneath the air box. This is physically adjusting the throttle positioning sensor. So you're loosening the bolts and you're making the adjustment. At 0, you want to see 16 to 17. So 0 being no throttle. So that was a change that some of the early Grizzly owners found. Helped them out as well on startup and running. But that's it for the pod mod, and showing you that the idle screw does adjust air fuel ratio, and then the pod mod changing roughly 30 at a time until you see it running right. This is my new toy. This is what got me back into the forums. So my 07 is over here. My play toy, I call that one the Beast. And then this one's Mud Monster. and just some of the mods I've done to it. It's the 2020 XTR. Put on a rope here, changed the worn hook. The tires come stock. I did add the fuel controller, and I don't plan on tearing this one apart anytime soon, doing the mods that I've done to the other one, so that fuel controller would be fine for what I'm running. I do like the thumb extensions. And put on the exhaust tip just to make it a little bit louder. And I've got the tiger tail in the back here. Other than that, this one is stock. In order to make the tiger tail fit, I did have to cut out the lower part of this box. And inside here, I just made a clear bottom plate and I glued it in with some epoxy. I've got some toe straps there for wrapping around trees. So that's it, guys. That's Mud Monster and the 07 and early 08 pod mod, and showing you how the idle air screw does affect air fuel ratio.